Come on.
Welcome back inside the bunker. Thursday, September 11th is the Week 2 Pick'em edition of the bunker. Once again, joined by Michael Merlo. We'll be discussing all the games this weekend, storylines you need to know for each one, and giving you our winners. As always, I'm your host, Kevin Bump. Coming to you weekdays. You can check out Tuesday's episode recapping Week 1. Also, Sunday recap, of course, 7:30 on Sundays. And Beat the Odds Gambling came out today as well with your best picks for the weekend, Mike and Bo, trying to make you some money this weekend while they make some money themselves. Mike, let's go through these games, pick our outright winners.
Yeah.
Week 1's in the book. Week 2 on the slate, great Thursday night game. Where are you going here, man?
Yeah, I like the Packers a lot. I was so impressed. I can't stop talking about how impressed I was on Sunday afternoon with those Green Bay Packers. And you look at what the Commanders did against the Giants, and they had 432 total yards, but they didn't play this perfect game. They weren't great against the Giants. And in fact, if the Giants were actually capable of scoring touchdowns, the Giants could have gotten back into that game easily. They only scored 21 points, the Commanders did. So I think the Commanders are going to have to be a lot better if they want any chance of beating this Packer team. I love the Packers this week. I'm going to take them.
Yeah, I agree with you. I can't go against the Packers until we see them lose that game, because we said it on Sunday night. They looked like the best team in football this weekend. How do you go against them, especially at Lambeau Field on a primetime night here? With Washington, I'm curious to see how they play, because I think they took their foot off the gas a little on Sunday. I thought they could have scored more points against the Giants than they did. They chewed clock a lot of conservative play in the second half. So we'll see if they're able to run with Green Bay. I think it'll be a close game. I think this is within a touchdown, this game. But yeah, I'm going to go Green Bay here on that one. Not too much to discuss, but I'm excited to see this Packers team. Is Parsons able to go this week? Is he able to make more of an impact than he made in Week 1? All of the above. I think the Sunday slate's way more interesting, though, despite that probably being the matchup of the week. Ravens-Browns get a good AFC North showdown, and I'm going to pick the Ravens, but not entirely confident in their ability to win this game, or I'm not totally out on the Browns. I was impressed last week.
Yeah, they should have beat the Bengals last week. The 2 missed kicks, the extra point, and the field goal. They would have won that football game with definitely the field goal and the extra point for sure. Bad teams find ways to lose. I'm sure they'll do it here. I think the Ravens will win the game, but I think it'll be within a touchdown. I really believe that. The Browns with Joe Flacco are going to be competitive. We've seen it year after year. When Flacco is there and playing, he's been 2 years ago, very competitive, went to the playoffs. And now you see Week 1, they're competitive. I think when Flacco's in there, they have weapons. I mean, Tillman's not bad. Judy's not bad. Njoku's not bad. They got guys. That kid Sampson looked really good out of the backfield, too.
Bannon at tight end, too, looked good this week. The rookie led FBS in receiving yards last year. I think the defense is going to be one of the top 5 or 7 defenses. It might not actually reflect that way in the analytics and in scoring because of the offense's ineptitude that they'll likely have this year and because of the team's record that they'll have. But I think this defense is really good. I was impressed on Sunday.
And the one thing I'll ask is, you're the Ravens and you blow that game, and I don't know how they're feeling. It's going to show a lot. It's going to tell us a lot how they come out in this game, because division game on the road against a pesky team. Do you come out and blow them out, or is this a close game and you're kind of still feeling you're not feeling yourself? You're still making excuses, whatever it is, for the loss Week 1. What do they look like after that loss? I'm going to be very excited to see that.
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit of a trap spot for Baltimore this week. You go into a game that they're supposed to win pretty easily. We've seen them start slow before in the Lamar Harbaugh era, so this is a big one for them to make sure that they don't against the Cleveland team they have to sweep this year if they want to win the division. Bengals-Jaguars is really interesting to me. I'm taking Cincinnati. I might have taken the home team in this no matter what, but Cincinnati did not look good last week. Their offense starts slow again. I don't think they'll pick it up magically this week. And Jacksonville has enough talent on the field to pull off an upset here.
Yeah, I'm taking Jacksonville to win the game. I believe in Liam Cohen. I think Liam Cohen is going to be one of the next big-time offensive coaches in this league, where you're sitting there saying, okay, wow, we're facing him this week. He's going to have something up his sleeve, and it's going to confuse our defense. I thought they did a good job against the Panthers last week. They just, didn't have to do much and blow them out. Obviously, completely different opponent, but we know how slow the Bengals start every year. And it's not just week 1. It's also week 2. It goes into week 2, these slow starts. So I will take the Jaguars with the spread. I will take the Jaguars to win the game. This will be one of my upsets this week. I like the Jags 24-20.
Yeah, Cincinnati just a bad September football team. I'll take a little bit of a lower scoring game, 20-16. I'll take Cincinnati to win.
Yeah. I've been thinking about this all week, and I've been meaning to ask you this question too. And it's perfect that we're doing this now. When you start off slow every single season, right? Who do you put the blame on? Who gets the blame for that? Because my first thought would be, well, if the coach is consistent throughout all these seasons, it should be the coach. And then, so now I'm putting the blame on the coach. And now my question would be, what does Zach Taylor do that is so special that he's been able to survive what has gone on here?
Yeah, it's tough. I think the Super Bowl carries a lot of weight for Taylor. And getting to that Super Bowl, that appearance, even if it's starting to feel almost fluky, just in that first year of Chase being there and Burrow being healthy, I think the Super Bowl holds a lot of weight, but I don't know what he does special. I think that we just have to look at the organization as an outlier because Marvin Lewis coached there for 15 years without a playoff win. They just don't like to fire these guys during their contracts, and they don't seem to want to hire elite coaches. This is a team that, if you had serious ownership, could have had almost any coach they wanted the last 3 or 4 years. Any guy that had a contract expiring, any guy that became available. I mean, Belichick's an example. I don't know if you want to go there at this point in time, but Belichick's an example of guys that were available. Harbaugh, that you just never chose to pursue because you have Zach Taylor. I just think the ownership's cheap here.
It's a great point. It's ownership. You're right, Lewis
was literally there for 15 years without a playoff win.
I've wondered this, and I don't think I'm like this. I think I'm a Zach Taylor hater, I guess.
I've never loved him.
Like, what is he like? Even Mike McDaniel, when he was at his best, well, he's young, offensive genius, right? You could see it with his play calling and his play style. You could see it when they were at their peak. And Kevin O'Connell, we know how great of a coach he is. Ed Sirianni, even with the running game and what they're able to do over there, fine. What does Taylor do? I don't know. I don't know.
I don't either. I don't like Taylor at all. But I also would blame some of the front office tactics because they have all of these contract negotiations that just become distractions late into the summer now. 2 years in a row with Chase and now with Hendrickson and the Shamar Stewart thing this summer. They have a completely new offensive line every season, and it's never a good group of offensive linemen. So I don't know where to throw the blame, but I definitely don't put it on the players because the players are too talented for me to sit here and say, like, Joe Burrow just sucks in September or Jamar Chase just isn't going in September. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yep, 100%.
Move on to the game of the week. Giants at Cowboys, one of the league's best rivalries. These are your boys here trying to get a win. They haven't won a game in Dallas since Prescott's rookie year. Just embarrassing stuff. I don't think they've beaten Prescott since his rookie year.
Haven't beat Prescott since his rookie year.
And now
15 of 16.
And that was week 1 of the first of Prescott's rookie year. That's when they beat Dallas in Dallas the last time, right? That was week 1.
Yes, and then later in the year, the 10-7 game at MetLife is the last time they beat Prescott.
And now they look to try and do it on Sunday. I still think a winnable game, as out as everyone is on the Giants this week. I'm going to take Dallas, but it's a winnable game for the Giants. I think this comes within a touchdown.
At least 2 touchdowns the Cowboys win by. CeeDee Lamb is going to have a massive game, 150, 160 yards, 10 catches, 2 touchdowns. And this isn't me being that annoying, pessimistic fan. This is me watching these games. This is me knowing what Dak Prescott not only does to the Giants, but the rest of the NFC East opponents. He's unbelievable in these games. He owns this team. There's no doubt in my mind Dallas covers the spread. There's no doubt in my mind this is at least a 2-touchdown win. Outside of the Dolphins, the Giants were the worst team in the NFL. I mean, you could even make the argument they were worse than the Dolphins. I mean, I haven't watched the film on the Dolphins. I watched a little bit of the Giants. You could make an argument they were worse than the Dolphins. it was that bad in week 1. I have no hope. It's done.
How about the comments from Brian Baldinger this week?
Not good.
The Giants are what do you say? The Giants look so much worse when you turn on the film.
Yeah, and it's like supposed to look, and it's usually like better. He says like when you watch the game live and you watch the film, you're usually like, all right, well, it wasn't actually that bad. And he was like, no, it was worse. It was worse than what you saw.
So we've gone over this on Sunday, but 3 years in a row now, the Giants haven't scored a touchdown in week 1. Now they move on to week 2. I don't think the luck is much better there the last 3 years.
Better week 2.
Have they won any week 2 games the last 3 years?
No, right?
I don't think so.
Who did they play last year, week 2? They might have played Dallas last year, week 2. I gotta look.
They played Dallas week 1 last year and lost 40-0. Oh, that was 2
years
ago.
Was 2 years ago.
The 40-0 Monday Night Massacre or Sunday Night Massacre, whatever it was. Yeah. But yeah, they start slow. I'm not confident in Dable's ability or his coaching staff's ability to win this game. They're going to have to get a good performance from Russell Wilson, and they're going to have to get Malik Neighbors the ball a lot more on Sunday to win this. Their defense was spotty in week 1.
It wasn't good.
A better team. A better team than Dallas, but Dak just kills these guys. I mean, he owns them. So I'm going to take Dallas all the way here, but not as confident as you are in the Cowboys' ability to win this game. We move on to the next game, which is I look through the schedule before we do these each week, and just a personal thing that I always do is I like to kind of pick where I think the most meaningful game is each week. Where is the most on the line for two teams with expectations? Bears at Lions, both at 0-1, feels like a huge spot in the season for both of these teams, like a make or break game in the season for both of these teams. Obviously, for Detroit, it would be a far more detrimental loss based on what you've done the last few years. Chicago, I think the fans would be incredibly disappointed with 2 division losses to start the season. I'm taking Detroit at home. I don't think they start 0-2 against division teams.
Yeah, I think Detroit's going to win the game, but it certainly could, it's going to be close. I don't think Caleb looks as bad as he did in this game. I can't see that happening. I think that Ben Johnson is going to feel a little something playing his former team. Yes, he's traveling back to Detroit. The spread 6 points. It feels a little high based off of what we saw from Detroit last week. I think there were a lot of concerns that, that both of us had after watching that game, not only offensively, but defensively. So we'll see what adjustments they make heading into week 2. It's obviously a lesser opponent, a lesser roster, but yeah, Detroit will win this game. It'll be close though.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you see the Amon-Ra comments about Ben Johnson?
What did he say?
He said on his podcast, when he gets on the field, I haven't seen the clip, so I'm going to admit that it could be kind of comedic. I'm not sure, but he said, we are going to boo the out of him. All of us on the sideline will boo the out of him when he walks out.
Why?
I don't know. I have no idea if it was comedic. I don't know if it was supposed to be like, we're booing our buddy, but he went to the Bears and they're not too happy about it.
It's incredible. Let's play a game. Complete overreaction. I don't care. You're redrafting the quarterback class a couple years back. What is it? Caleb's class.
Yeah.
What's the order?
Redrafting it. Daniels is 1.
Daniels is 1. I agree.
I'm taking Caleb 2.
Okay.
This is where it gets tough for me. I'm taking May 5th or 6th. I'm taking May last.
I agree.
And the 3 in the middle are tough. All right, this might sound crazy right now. I'm taking Penix 3rd, McCarthy 4, Nix 5, May 6, because I just think Nix is in a unique spot in Denver where he's going to get maximized and still not be a total star, whereas I think Penix, McCarthy, and Caleb could turn into star-level franchise guys.
So I had Daniels 1, Bo Nix 2, Caleb 3, Penix 4, McCarthy 5, May 6.
It's actually going to go down as one of the most historic quarterback classes we've ever seen.
I think Nix, what shocked me about Bo Nix was his athleticism, was his ability to move in the pocket. And he's got an arm. Now, again, I agree. He's in a great situation. I think you could say the same thing for a lot of guys, though. I think you could say the same thing for Daniels. You could say the same thing. I think we're going to be saying the same thing for J.J. McCarthy when he rises up on this list in a few years. We both agree on that. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, it's a great question.
I'm taking Nix over McCarthy. I'm swapping them.
Okay. I still believe in Caleb. I do. I think Caleb is going to figure this out.
That's a great question. And I would love, we obviously won't get this, I would love to see what 32 general managers would say to that question.
Yeah.
Like, how are these guys actually viewed in the league? Daniels is, I'd imagine all 32 say he's number one.
Yeah.
And then after that, I think you could go anywhere with it after that.
Yep. I think most guys would probably still say Caleb is 2.
Caleb's just, it's interesting because, like, we're so high on him a year ago. Do I want to just jump off that badly after what we've seen? Do I want to go all the way out on Caleb and put him lower than some of those guys? I don't know.
Nix was that impressive last year, though. That's why I had him over him. He was that really good last year. And obviously, you're a Nix guy.
And Penix is showing you some stuff with his arm and his legs. He can move better than people realize, too. He was able to in college. Yeah, that's a great question. And crazy, like, May is definitely last right now, I think.
For me, he is.
Unless you want to say McCarthy is because he only had the one start. But May is 1-10 now as a starter, and there's only 1 or 2 games of really good tape in the catalog.
Plus, we're big McCarthy guys, so.
We're big Vikings McCarthy guys. And then you talk about spots, and then we'll move on from this. You talk about spots to land. Like, Washington, in hindsight, has been awesome for Daniels with Kingsbury and with the pieces they have there. Chicago is not great because of Eberflus. Probably all right now with Johnson. Denver was incredible. Minnesota was incredible. I think Atlanta was a good landing spot for Penix. A lot of talent around him. Seems like a stable coaching staff. Whether they're really good or not is another question, but seems stable. Patriots is just a disaster situation, I think, because you have a terrible year one staff, terrible group of talent around you, a really questionable front office, and an offensive coordinator now in year 2 that has never actually developed a franchise quarterback and is also coaching under a head coach that I don't think has any influence on the quarterback position.
It's crazy that it's easily the worst spot. I mean, you can make the argument for the Bears, that's fine, but at this point it's not close because of the there's still talent around Caleb, and you still have Ben Johnson, who a lot of people wanted New England to get because of Drake May, and that was obviously a spot where Ben Johnson had looked because May was there, but it's incredible. And the best situation easily is what JJ McCarthy's in. He's in the
absolutely. And there's a drop-off, I think, with New England and the other 5, too. I don't even think it's that close to Chicago. I think there's 4 spots that are pretty good. 2 spots that are great, Denver and Minnesota, for those quarterbacks. 2 spots that are really good, Atlanta and Washington. A spot that's not very good in Chicago, and a spot that's just been awful in New England.
I'm going to say something. I said this last night, and I'm going to say it again to you. Like, if this is crazy or not. But because of the situation that J.J. McCarthy is in right now, could he not be, and again, I need to preface this, I'm not comparing him to Tom Brady, but could this be a Tom Brady situation where Brady was just put into the absolute perfect situation? He got his chance, he ran with it, and then right when he got his chance, he developed, and then he turned into that real star, right? Brady's not the most talented guy in the world. We know Brady's not the most talented quarterback to ever play the position. And I don't think JJ is going to be the most talented player in the league at any point, during his career. But could he be one of the top 7, 8 quarterbacks in this league because of the situation he's in?
Yeah, I think he can be. I'm trying to think of a better comparison right now than Brady, because Brady, I totally agree with what you're saying, and he's the first guy that comes to mind, but it almost feels like lazy at this point. Like, there has to be somebody better in there that better describes what we're saying. But I think you're right. I think we're going to get through 2 or 3 years, and maybe you're saying JJ's good, he's not great, but, the Vikings have such a great thing going. That's why they're winning 11, 12 games. And then 8 years from now, you're saying, all right, this guy's winning 12 games a season and he's putting up 30 touchdowns a year. He's obviously a stud. And then maybe 15 years from now, you're saying he's still putting up 12 wins a season with 30 touchdowns a year. He's one of the quarterbacks of his era.
It's tough. Like
Minnesota's that great of a spot.
Right. And it's tough to say, oh, well, I'm comparing him to the greatest quarterback of all time, the most successful quarterback in the history of the NFL. But like it's kind of like that track of you're in the good spot and now you continue to develop and get to where you have to go.
It could even be maybe Russell Wilson in recent years, like not a highly touted guy in his class.
Yeah.
He was a 3rd-round pick. First year, 2 year. Well, first year he comes in, Matt Flynn's a starter. You know, you had that with Arnold. It's a different thing, but Matt Flynn was the starter. And then McCarthy and Russ, maybe Russ was just the guy that first year or two, he was good. And you're like, all right, they have something here. And then the team is so talented and he's so good at managing the game and at doing what he has to do offensively that they win a Super Bowl. I can see that happening with Minnesota for
100%.
sure.
I'm excited. And I think it's one of the best rosters in the league. I think they have the top 3 coaching staff, top 2 coaching staff, even with Brian Flores there. They're dangerous. They're scary in that NFC. I'm fully bought in. I'm fully bought in.
Do you think Brian Flores gets another shot at coaching?
Yeah, I think especially after this year, if they do go back to the playoffs and the defense is pretty good the other day.
Yeah, it was.
They missed a few sacks. Like they were good. Caleb got away from a couple of big time sacks there. I think he will.
Well, good segue into the next game that we have to do. You're taking the Lions on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
You said, okay, so good segue into the next game. May is at Miami for this is a big time game for New England.
Yep.
This is a big spot for New England to try and show something, to try and prove that they are not trash this year. I'm taking Miami at home. I really do want to give New England this win because of how much I dislike Miami this year, how much I've been out on them all offseason. This might have just been a home team game for me, but I'm taking Miami.
Yeah, if I had to put a gun to my head, I'm going to take Miami. I know a lot of people that, I trust and listen to in sports gambling like the Dolphins this week and are taking the Dolphins. I don't think I have the stomach for it.
No.
The one question I have, and I mentioned this on the gambling show, was, has this team quit on Mike McDaniel? Like, are they just done? And if that's the case, they're not going to win many games. And this one will not be one of those games they win. But I don't know that for a fact. So I would have to sit here and hold my nose and take the Dolphins to win the game outright.
I'm just going to throw this out there. If they lose this game, Miami, bad. If they lose like they did in week 1, I could see McDaniel getting fired on Monday.
If they get blown out by like 20, 24, 30 points. Yeah, okay.
And Anthony Weaver, the defensive coordinator, is a guy who's gotten head coaching interviews the last few years, a guy who's respected as a leader in the NFL, more so than a defensive coordinator, one of those guys. I could see Stephen Ross saying, McDaniel's just not the guy for this team at all. And I think we have a pretty good assistant here. Just give him the
Well,
seat.
if he's completely lost the locker room and Weaver has some control over it, then yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
So I'm still going to take Miami in this game, but I could see this being the last Mike McDaniel game.
Wow.
If it goes really south. Week 1 was bad.
That's bad.
So to this point, for me, I haven't taken a road team. I'm going to take a road team in the next game. Niners at Saints. No Purdy in this game. I'm still going to take San Fran. Really close game. Rattler looked better than I thought he would in week 1, but I got to go San Fran in this one. I don't think the Saints can put up too many points against them.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Spencer Rattler. Actually,
let's go.
Get his first. He hasn't won a game yet as a starter, so he'll get his first one against Mac Jones. Mac Jones is pretty brutal. So give me the Saints. I'm not going to watch this game at all. I'm not going to bet on the game. I don't want to. I have no interest, and that's where. But I'll take Spencer Rattler to get his first win against Mac Jones.
What does Patriots Twitter look like on Sunday night if Mac Jones has an incredible Shanahan game? like 3 touchdowns, 230 yards.
And they
win,
lost to the
they
Dolphins.
lose to the Dolphins by a touchdown or more. And May did not play well.
Let's just say I'm not rooting for that. Let's just say
I will be spending the night on Patriots Twitter and listening to every Boston radio station. If this is what happens on Sunday.
Let's just say I have a new fantasy for Sunday now. Okay.
Yeah, this is what we need to happen.
This is what I need to happen.
All right, next game, go to another road team with the Bills. I'm taking Buffalo. I think it's going to be a closer game than people will give the Jets credit for, but I don't think they can stop Allen to the extent of getting an actual win on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm pumped for this game. I like the Jets. I think the Jets keep it close. The Bills will win the game, but the Jets keep this game close. The Jets were able to push around that defensive front of the Steelers on Sunday. Their offensive line played so well. And I think they do the same this Sunday. I think they'll be able to run the football against this Bills team. You saw what the Ravens were able to do to them with just Henry and that offensive line last week. I understand Derrick Henry, Breece Hall, big difference, but still the offensive line of the Ravens were able to push them around. I think the Jets will do the same. Run the ball, keep the game close. Bills win this game by 3 or 6 points.
All right, totally agree. Let's go to the Steel City, where I think the Seahawks get their first win in the Sam Darnold era. Again, on the road, Seahawks at Steelers. I like Seattle by a touchdown.
I think Seattle wins this game ugly and close. Ugly and close is, I think, 16-13. Going to be a complete opposite game from the Steelers offensively than what you saw last week. And I agree. It'll be ugly for Darnold, but he'll get his first win.
And the Seahawks defense looked good this weekend against San Francisco. Purdy made a couple big throws late, and with a missed field goal was a big difference in this game for Seattle. And Darnold didn't have his best game in game 1. I think they get the run game going this week against Pittsburgh, who couldn't stop anything last week against the Jets. So I do like the Seahawks there. Rams at Titans. I think it's a good week for the Titans to potentially get their first win with Cam Ward, but I still am going to take the Rams. I think close game again for LA this week, and I think both teams end up under 20 points.
You want to hear my best bet of the week?
Let's do it.
It's not any of my 3-point, 2-point, 1-point pick. It's the under in this game. I didn't mention this on the gambling show. It is the under in this game. I completely agree with you. It'll be close. I think the Rams will just win the game by 2 or 3 points. But I think Cam Ward will be competitive, but low scoring, 17-14, 17-13 for the Rams.
And I think the over-under in this game is like 39.5.
I think it's 41.5. Don't ask me why I know the exact number, but I do because I think I've already bet it. But either way, I do like it.
Panthers at Cardinals, kind of a lame game here, but I'm going to take Arizona to go 2-0.
Yeah, but I think it's close. I think it's really close, and it'll be weird to look at Arizona and say they're a 2-0 team. I think the Panthers are going to have a chance to win this game late. I really do. But they looked awful against Jacksonville. And if they didn't look that bad and this was maybe a 4.5, 5.5 point spread, I would say, you know what, give me the Panthers. But they were so bad in week 1, I can't sit here with a straight face and tell you they're going to win the game.
No, another team that you just can't take to win until they actually do it, and especially not on the road. Broncos at Colts. I'm going to take Daniel Jones and the Indianapolis Colts this week to beat the Denver Broncos. Colts moved to 2-0 at home. I thought the Broncos offense looked awful last week, and I think the Colts offense looked like one of the best in football last week.
They did, and now you're playing a real defense. I'll go the opposite of you. I will take the Broncos here to look sharp in this one in the dome. I just can't sit here and tell you with a straight face that Daniel Jones is going to do anything close to what he did last week against one of the better defenses in the entire league in Denver. So I will take Bo Nix and the Broncos getting the better quarterback and the better defense under a field goal. I'll take it.
Game of the week, Eagles at Chiefs, Super Bowl rematch. I'm so confident in the Philadelphia Eagles to win this game yet again.
A lot of smart people are with you, and I am going to join that side and say yes. When you look at the talent levels of both teams, where the strengths are for each teams, Philadelphia matches up very well against this team. Their defensive front with Jalen Carter back from Spitgate will be able to shut down that running game. I do really like the Eagles in this game.
Do you think Jalen Carter should have been suspended?
I don't. I think he missed the one game already, and you find him a full week's pay for this week. I think that's fine.
Yeah, I think that the NFL handled that the right way. I mean, he literally didn't play a snap last week, spit before a snap. So we'll see if if Carter learned his lesson or if he spits on Mahomes in this game.
If he spits on Mahomes, you could suspend him for a month.
Yeah, if he spits on Mahomes, he doesn't have to ever play again.
Yeah. Like, if he spit, legit.
There's way bigger problems if he spits on Mahomes than football.
Yeah. Well, there are
more to be concerned about. There already, yeah. There's a lot bigger problems than spitting on Prescott on national TV.
Yeah.
Falcons at Vikings. This is an awesome Sunday night matchup between the two rookie quarterbacks. I mean, the theme of this show is just, or the two second-year quarterbacks, but the theme of this show is just the 2024 quarterback class. What a weekend for the 2024 class. I'm going to take Minnesota again, but I want to take Atlanta. I like both teams a lot, but at home, I'm going to take the Vikes.
Yeah, I like it. I like Minnesota as well. I think they're going to cover the spread. They're at home. It's going to be a tough place for Michael Penix to play here. It gets loud there. Then in the dome, that'll benefit him, but it gets loud there. And I just love this Minnesota team. I think they'll be ready. The defense is better. The roster is so much better. And I think the coaching staff is just a big-time step above what Atlanta has.
And I think that a lot of last week will carry into this week for each team. Atlanta couldn't run the ball at all against a Tampa defense that is not great. Now you have a terrific defense in Minnesota playing their home opener. And I think the fourth quarter offensively for McCarthy and the Vikings will carry into this week against Atlanta, especially with them coming back home. It's going to be a packed house. The place is going to be rocking for their first of the season. So, yeah, I'm all in on Minnesota.
And Swift didn't have a great game either. Yeah, agreed. Young quarterback against Brian Flores. He's going to confuse the hell out of him like he did with Williams there.
Another great one, Monday Night Football. We have a doubleheader, two really good games on this doubleheader. Yeah. Buccaneers at Texans. I got to go with Tampa Bay, especially to back up all my talk about Houston this week. But I think Tampa wins in a pretty high-scoring game.
You know, there are times when I'll look at a spread in a game and I'll say this makes absolutely zero sense. And one of them this week was the Texans. I'm like, why are the Texans, even though they're home, why are they 2.5-point favorites? I like Tampa. I think Tampa's good. And it's not a crazy home field advantage in Houston. And when you see something like that, your first reaction is to say, I'm going to bet the Texans. I mean, I'm going to bet the BUCS because that's what makes the most sense. Not supposed to do that. Supposed to do the opposite. So give me the Texans minus 2.
Wow.
I think the Texans are going to win this game. Their defense is really good, and it'll step up. And I think CJ Stroud will make some plays against this weak Tampa defense, and they'll win the game.
Last but not least, your boys on Monday Night Football. Chargers at Raiders. LA coming off of a signature Week 1 win. Justin Herbert was electric, but it won't hold. It's Raiders on Monday Night Football, moving to 2-0 and first place in the AFC West after 2 weeks. Let's go Raiders!
You know what? I love the excitement, and I was going to take the Raiders too, but I'll let you keep the Raiders to yourself. I'll take the Chargers. This team's legit. This team is going to win this division, and you got to win these games. This is going to be a very, very close game, though, and I'm very excited for this one.
Geno Smith indoors is the best quarterback in the National Football League. Go check the stats presented by Chris Long on his podcast. I won't steal it from him, but basically a 5-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio indoors. I'm all in on the Raiders right now. You know it. You know how I'm feeling. I'm worried about Bauer's status for this game. Got hurt on Sunday. Will he play on Monday? I think he's going to be out, and even if he plays, I think he's not going to play much. Mayer got a lot of run in Week 1 also. They showed that they like him, so they're not going to lose too much tight end. Genty did not have a good first week.
No.
But Raiders at home, I'm taking them, and I think the Chargers maybe after playing a game in South America, getting a big win, come back home, and get a little humble pie against Pete Carroll and the boys, whose vibes are incredible right now.
Let's go.
Did you see the Week 1 post-game?
I did. They love that. Listen, Pete can get anybody to get up for him and play.
He's the man. He's the greatest. Anything else on the Week 2 agenda for you that you want to discuss?
No, I'm pumped. I'm ready to go. Can't wait for the recap at 7:30 on Sunday. Super pumped.
Recap 7:30 Sunday. You can check out Beat the Odds Gambling with Mike and Bo. Hardline came out last night. New episode for week 2 of the NFL season. Make sure to check that out. Mike's all over the place.
Yeah, I got
podcasting world these last 2 days. So thanks for jumping on here, doing these picks. We're going to get back into baseball, too, for the people who have been asking. I mean, we're just ramping up the football for the first 2 weeks, but next week we'll definitely start diving right back into baseball, doing our routinely scheduled baseball talk during the week, and whether that's here, whether that's on the Burrows, whether that's mic'd up, you'll start to hear more baseball content. You'll start to see more on social media middle of next week. But we're going to get through this weekend, another great NFL weekend, and then be back. Yankees and Mets are completely dead right now anyways.
Yeah.
So.
Why do we want to talk about that? It's done.
So who cares? Mike will be in the building tonight. I was in the building last night at Yankee Stadium, so hopefully it goes a little bit better than it did for me because it was awful last night. But we will see you all on the Sunday recap. Sunday night, 7:30. Make sure to come live, YouTube and Instagram. BTO Media. You can't find it anywhere else. It's video only, not on audio. We appreciate you watching. Make sure you come Sunday night with your best thoughts. Comment to get involved on the show. It's always a fun time. Hopefully Mike's technology works this week.
We will.
And we can have a smooth show. But that's it for the bunker today. I'll see you guys after the weekend, probably Monday morning, do another episode. And that's it. So we appreciate you sticking with us this week. Enjoy week 2 in the NFL. Make sure to follow BTO Gambling on Instagram for all of Mike and Bo's picks. And enjoy the weekend. Hopefully you make some money.